Hey, Spark Kids. Okay, I am on the way to do our water test, but I pulled over so that I could do this video for you today. I want to talk about that week before Jesus died on the cross. This is so important. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine Jesus knowing he's going to the cross and he's got to wait a whole week? That would be so hard, but he did that for us. And during that week, they had a meal called Passover. And after the meal, Jesus passed around this cup of wine. And during the meal, he passed around some bread that was like a flatbread. And he explained to his disciples that he wanted to be remembered after he was gone. And so they would take a loaf of bread and take a piece off and eat it, kind of like we do at church. And he said, I want you to eat this and remember that I'm going to sacrifice my body for you. And then he said, I want you to take a drink of this wine, but we use grape juice. But I want you to take a drink of this wine, and I want that to represent the blood that I'm shedding for you. Now understand, his friends, his disciples didn't know what was coming. He just knew that they needed to understand how important what was about to happen was, and that we need to remember it. So still today we remember it when we take bread or a wafer or bread or whatever it is that we use and a cup and drink the grape juice, or some people really use wine, and that's okay too. We need to remember and celebrate that Jesus gave his body for us and shed his blood for the forgiveness of our sins. That's hard for us to understand. And can you imagine the disciples who didn't even see it happen yet and they had to understand it? But it's a way Jesus said, do this often so that you remember me. So when we take communion, when we have a lot of Jesus, is how some of you say it, we need to remember that Jesus gave his body and shed his blood for the forgiveness of sins because he loved us so much and he died on that cross. So we need to remember, and we need to do this often. Even if we're not doing communion, we need to remember Jesus. So let's just say it right now, real loud. Say, I love you, Jesus. Oh, that was music to his ears. I love you, Jesus.